Well, hi again, everybody. As we count down the 2012 season, the Robert E. Lee Red Raiders will wrap up their season coming up on Friday night in Rockwall against Rockwall Heath High School as the Red Raiders prepare to wrap up this 2012 campaign following their game this past Friday night at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium against the Longview Lobos. Coach Darrell Piske is with us. Coach, first of all, 52-6. Longview is very good. We knew that coming in.
Yeah, they've got a good football team. You know, they're physical on both sides of the ball, and we knew we had to match that, you know, to maintain any chance of victory. And you know, really once we got going, got in the flow of things, and physically we didn't hold up very well.
By the way, we've got some new digs for the next 2 or 3 weeks, so we hope you enjoy that. And we're going to talk about that game and, of course, the Heath game coming up this week. Coach, what did you like about what your team did on Friday night? Tell me, let's start off with the positives.
All right. Well, you know, number one, our guys, you know, they continue to play towards, you know, till the final whistle went off, and you know, didn't do anything stupid, getting personal fouls and stuff like that. You know, there's been instances in the past where we've gotten frustrated and we've got some personal fouls and got ejections and stuff like that. So, you know, that was a positive, that their attitude stayed up, and you know, they battled and continued their effort for 4 quarters.
There was a sequence early in the ball game where you guys held Longview right on the very first series, stuffed them on a 4th down and 1. The defense was very much into the game at that point.
Well, you look at it, you know, late first quarter, early second quarter, it's still a ball game. We pull off the fake punt, go down and score, make it 14-6. And then, you know, it's kind of the way it's been going all year. Something will go wrong, and then it'll just snowball. Whereas something goes wrong, we understand things are going to go wrong and forget that play and go to the next play attitude. We hadn't quite got that instilled yet, and so it kind of snowballs, and then it gets out of control and turns into an ugly loss.
So you think there's still a little bit of that, here we go again, when something bad happens?
Well, yeah, I mean, it really is. You know, it just, like I say, you may not see it physically, but you know, mentally deep down inside, that's where it is. Otherwise, things wouldn't occur the way they occur. You know, we do things that during practice we take care of over and over and over, and then we get in the game, and in that situation, our mental lapse lets things like that occur, onside kicks and stuff like that we work on all week and stuff like that, sudden change, knowing, you know, they're going to take a shot deep, and then we drop our heads instead of continuing to focus on the next play. I think we're still hung over on that last play, and here we go again type deal.
I thought one of the turning points in the game in a negative way was a Longview onside kick. I mean,
well, it came right after, you know, we fumbled a kickoff.
Yeah.
You know, we 14-6. I guess they score, make it 21-6, and then we fumble a kickoff. I mean, kid did a great job of fielding the ball. They Squib kicked it, and he did a great job of picking it up and trying to make something happen, getting vertical, finishing upfield. Then he fumbles the football, and then right there, you know, sudden change. You know, there's a chance they're going to take a shot deep. And they took a shot deep and got it, and you know, then we come back right back out, and I was personally in the huddle. Coach Johnson and I both reiterating to the guys, make sure it's kicked deep, because that's a good time to try an onside kick, just to put the nail in the coffin. And then we go out there, and they I guess forget from the sidelines to getting out there and bail, and they get the onside kick, and then, you know, another sudden change type deal, and throw a big play and get a reverse pass off on us there.
How many young guys were you playing on Friday night?
Well, all of them we got. You know, most of the guys are getting playing time now, and you know, trying to work them into some live game situations. And so I think defensively we've got, I think all but 3 out there playing will be back next year.
Yeah, I was going to say, I counted at one point maybe all but 1 at one point.
Yeah,
on the
times
field.
at times, you know, they're all but maybe 1 guy out there will be back next year. So that's, you know, that's some valuable experience for them. You get them in the heat of the battle and see how they hold up against a really quality football team like Longview is.
You still have a few seniors, though, playing key roles on the defensive or on the offensive side of the ball, especially on the offensive line. How have those young men held up this year?
You know, they've gotten better. You know, we still got to learn to use our hands more. Things that you just, you know, overnight, it's going to take some touch punch and some things we do in the off season where they just get used to and make it normal for them to use their hands and doing that. But you know, they've worked hard. They go out there and practice and you know, get after it. Some of the things you can't avoid, the physicalness that Longview had. I mean, they're just bigger, faster, and stronger than us, and that's something we're going to have to work on. You know, through the year and through the off season.
How disappointing can you put into words? Because I know your offensive coordinator's son, Jay Roberson, is a senior this year. Just how tough is it on these guys? I mean, I know they're down to one game, and most of them won't go on and play somewhere after this. That's tough.
Well, it is. You know, it's tough on all of us. I mean, everybody involved. You know, we want to win, and we're out there to win. And if you got any competitiveness in you at all, you know, you don't handle losing very well. You know, you can handle it with dignity and class, but it still needs to bother you. And you know, that's what we talked about with the kids. Is sometimes somewhere in the matter of pride's got to take effect, and each person just be proud enough to go, you know what, we're done with this. And then, you know, we'll be honest with them when we evaluate what we need to work on for next year to assure that this kind of season doesn't happen again. And then each one of those guys have got to look into themselves individually and go, you know what, I'm tired of it. We're going to fix it, and we're going to get it fixed. And you know, hopefully we'll see the things during the off season. You know, UMHB was playing up here, playing ETBU on Saturday, so they came by our field on Friday, and I went out there, and their center, Coach Fredenberg and I were talking, and their center played for us at Fairfield. And Michael Mooneyham, not a very big guy, and Coach Fred said, you know, every time we turn around, we go, we need to find somebody to replace Mooneyham. He's just not big enough to play college football, but they can't replace him because of their heart. But I think about, and what my story's about is the spring we turned it around in Fairfield. We'd gone through a 1-9 season. And you look out there, and after the kids got their extra weights done after school, they come and lift extra. I look up, and Mooneyham's got the offensive line out there, and they're working zone steps, working pass drops, and doing things just because they had made their mind up that we're not going to do that anymore. We're tired of it. We're going to fix it.
So he'd been a part of the 1-9.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And so, you know, that's what we've got to get to, is get these guys bought into, you know, we can fix it. We're going to fix it. Let's get it fixed, and you know, let it be a pride factor with them.
And as this senior group goes out, I know you feel badly for them because, you know, you get to know these kids. You're with them as much or more than their own families are, and you feel you want them to have some success going forward, don't you?
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's the same way it was at Fairfield, same way it was at Valley Mills. That first group, you feel bad for them because you want it to happen then, but you want to make sure, and I think they always have, the ones in the past where I've been, understand that when we get it turned, we know that they had something to do with it. I mean, they're a part, because right now we're building foundations to get this thing turned around, and these guys are a part of it, whether it be habits they're changing, attitudes they're changing, the work and effort of just showing up every day and working hard to get better. They're teaching those young guys those examples right now.
Yeah, I was talking, I think it might have been maybe Deontay Walker, one of your young men last week who's a senior, saying, you know, if not us, you know, maybe we can at least help this next group, you know, kind of get there, and you need some of that too, don't you?
Yeah, you got to. I mean, you got to have it. You got to have those guys just showing the example of every day showing up and getting after it and getting better and working hard and doing the little things and doing the extra, because these guys, you know, they did a good job coming up this summer with the summer strength and conditioning and doing that kind of thing, and so they have set some positive examples, and that is the most frustrating part as a coach, because you want it for these guys. And
almost more than you want it for yourself, really. You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, anytime, you know, we're smart enough to know that the credit needs to go to the kids when we're successful, because you know, they're the ones that's going to make it happen and stuff like that. And that's the hardest part as a coach, is you look at us physically. You know, when you come in, you look at us and you go, man, we've got some talent. And it just shows how important the mental aspect and self-discipline and selflessness and all the things people preach that they think is just, you know, words, are pretty important parts to having a successful team.
How tough has the transition been this year on everybody?
Well, you know, I don't know if it's tough. It's just it's a natural process that everybody goes through. It's you getting to know the kids getting to know you, the kids getting to know your expectations, how you do things, what you think, you know, and then the toughest part is getting to know the insides of the guys, because to me that's a big part of having a winning football team, is the character in the kids and the discipline in the kids and the selflessness and stuff. And it's hard to just come in and look at somebody. Everybody can put on an outward appearance. When you're new, everybody's going to do what you ask them and how you ask them to do it and all that. It's when you start getting into the heat of the battles, you know, because when someone's hitting you in the mouth, your true character usually comes out. And that's the part that you got to learn and know what you have when you go into battle, that you can't learn through the summer and through spring ball and stuff like that. And
again, the game this past Friday night was at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium against the Longview Lobos. Let's roll some tape and take a look at some of the video of the Robert E. Lee game. Again, 52-6, Longview won that game on Friday night, but there were some high points in that game, including a very special touchdown pass that was thrown by a Red Raider senior who normally doesn't get a chance to do that. Lumi Kaba off a fake punt, and what a nice year Lumi has had as both a field goal kicker and a punter for the Robert E. Lee Red Raiders, and he may even get a chance to go on and play somewhere else. And here you are, Coach, on defense.
Yeah, this is the defensive highlight, and that's those front guys, Edom and Delkey and those guys just creating a pile. And then the linebackers, the two young backers, did a good job of getting downhill there and filling their gaps. Here's a quarterback bootleg. We did a good job up top of keeping our leverage. You know, at times they out leveraged us, and sometimes it was just the guy out there blocking us just whooped our tail. Sometimes it was us not taking the right path. But you know, there's a defensive end there. Teddy Matlock doing a good job of staying upfield shoulder.
Teddy's one of those sophomores.
Yeah, he's getting better. He realized, you know, a lot of those guys, they've started coming in. There's Teddy fighting across, and you know, then the inside-out pursuit will get there if we all take proper angles and do those kind of things. So, you know, a lot of these young guys, sophomores and junior kids, have been coming in, you know, before school. I see them in the weight room. Some of them's lifting after we get through there, but they realize that we're not near as strong as we need to be, you know, to compete with these kind of guys. It's Longview on offense still. That's Greg Lavely coming up making a play from his safety position. Greg did a pretty good job tackling.
Lavely's another classman.
Yeah, he's a junior. Yes, sir.
There you go.
You know, good open field tackle. Not worried about destroying the guy, just worried about making the tackle and stopping his forward progress. Watching the young guys, those two little young pups inside, you know, they got a little bit better this week than last week. The times that they got obliterated is just because those guys are a lot bigger, faster, and stronger than they are. You see them both there stepping up inside, and of course D-lineman making a play. D-line's young. You know, they're going to have a lot of guys back there next year also.
Adam Asanasi is a junior.
Yep. Antron Henry, end. Tristan Taylor. I'm thinking that was the safety there, or Teddy, maybe Teddy again, an outside linebacker. Actually, I think it's one where Teddy fights and Bryce Stewart, number 8 right there, sets his feet and comes back up, and then Delkey Derrick comes from the inside out there. You know, that's a good job of going flat and going, taking the proper angle to make the play. Another one where he bounced it, that's Bryce Stewart making play off the edge there. You know, at times look really good, and then at times you look really bad. We just need more of those, you know, look good times than the look bad times.
Yeah, because the big plays will kill you. It doesn't take but 2 or 3 of those to get you beat.
No, right? And that, you know, get you beat bad when you let some of those happen here. You know, Terrence Simmons and those guys did a good job, you know, getting vertical right there. That's a 6-7 yard gain on the smash, and ended up picking up more than that and getting a first down. And we, you know, the first half we'd look up and it's one guy sliding off a block. You know, it wasn't like we weren't getting movement. They got a really good defensive group there. What they're able to do that a lot of people can't do is they're going to leave 6 in the box. The other 5 are going to play the pass, and so they're going to leave 6 in the box, and they're going to stop the run with 6 in the box. Now, not many of us can do that against a really good running team, but they're able to do that with those front 4 they got and those 2 linebackers. Do a good job.
You did use both quarterbacks.
Yeah, and we're going to continue to do that. Neither one of them has really, you know, shown to be far advanced to the other one at this point in the season. So we need to get them both as much game time as we can get, just so we can show them their mistakes and show them the good things they do. And that's Terrence Simmons again. Terrence ran hard all night. Here's the fake punt coming to Lumi. I'll never hear the end of it now. He'll want to play quarterback this week. He's a good athlete, though.
Yeah, he is. He told Chris Perry he played it Pee Wee, Pop Warner, so it's not the first time he'd ever thrown a pass.
Yeah, and we've worked this all year, just hadn't pulled it out yet, and felt like it was a good time at that point. It's 14-0. Bryce Stewart does a good job, you know, running after the catch, and so that's a big moment for us. And course, you know, we do that, and then we go down and we let them block the extra point. So that's a momentum killer, and that's something we got to work on.
And then fumble the ensuing kickoff.
And then
right?
fumble the ensuing kickoff, and you know, after they score the next one, we fumble the kickoff. So yeah, that's the kind of things you got to avoid. And like I say, it's a lot of it's the mental part of when something bad happens, just forget that and go on to the next play, and not let it linger.
Kudos to Bryce Stewart for a nice
He did
run
a good
after the catch on that
he,
big punt.
He did a good job. Bryce is a physical kid and gets after it, and you know, again, there's your defensive front guys making the play there with the two little young linebackers. That's either Roderick or Derman, you know, closing up the clear and making the tackle. That's Gaines and Derman both involved there. They're getting better. They're just, like I say, they're a little tad slow on their reads, a little bit not sure, not confident.
But those are the two sophomore inside backers you were talking about.
Yeah. And then this is Diosado showing, you know, his speed. He was even shocked when he was able to turn the corner, but did a good job of staying in bounds there.
Well, and the key is he didn't quit on the play. Would have been very easy for him to have, I got enough, but he ran that play out.
Yep. Does a good job here, you know, stepping up and looking downfield once he realizes. Bryce Wilkerson does a good job of getting him a block there, and then, of course, he has him a big gain.
It's a really nice run by the junior. Going to have quite a quarterback battle in the spring, aren't you?
Yeah, it's going to be fun, but you know what? We need one. Again, that's I think that's Terrence Simmons there making the play back there. Of course, Chris Emanuel at fullback. Anytime you have a good run like that, there's something good happening up front, and fullback does his job with the block and blasts the linebacker, and Terrence makes a good cut. You know, if we continue just offensively, get a body on a body and then stay on that body until the whistle blows, these guys can make cuts. You know, our front interior defense at times, the down linemen, two inside linebackers, and of course Teddy and Deontay off the edge there did a good job at times, just, you know, needing a little more consistency and not give up the big play.
Right. Now, is that poster in now? I can't tell. But you played both quarterbacks.
Yeah, we played both of them. No, that's Diosado. That's Nicola Willis there. That's 80 draw. He did a good job of hitting that thing downhill, but, you know, to have that big a crease, the lineman had to have done something right.
Senior little guy, too.
Yeah, you know, he's you know, not very big and not the fastest guy in the world, but he'll go out there and hit it hard and give you what he's got, and that's good to see him get some positive yards.
Back on defense here.
Yeah, again, that's down lineman there. Can't really tell who it is. I see Keith Anderson's in there.
Think about Longview. If they prove they can run a play, they'll just keep running it, won't they?
Yeah, that's, you know, that's a pretty good philosophy some guys have, and you know, it's good when you have those guys that basically can run that same play and make it work over and over. Because until they stop it, I mean, I just keep feeding them full of it. So they do a good job with that.
Now, we talked about the quarterback battle. There's also a young man that I know of, a freshman named Zach Hall, who's I mean, he gets in the mix. And who's quarterback in your JV
well,
team?
You got Trevor Carr, who's, you know, really it's going to be four guys just, you know, in a pretty severe battle for it, which is fun. I mean, that's the good part, is it's not like we're just going, all right, who can we find to play quarterback? Right. We've got four guys that are going to be battling for it. As a staff, we've got to look at our personnel and see, you know, where we are. All of our sub-varsity levels are all in the gun, spreading it out, looking at what we have down there. And get our offensive philosophy of where we're going with the kids we have coming, and you know, that's the exciting part, is that all those lower levels we're able to spread it out and throw it around and do those kind of things. You know, all those quarterbacks, the two we're talking about, Trevor and Hall, are, you know, help on the run threat thing. I know Poster and Diosado have gotten some good varsity experience this year, so it's going to be interesting, and there's going to be a lot of positions. You know, our staff meetings, you know, starting next Saturday morning, are going to be really important on the future and figuring out personnel and now that we know these kids inside and out, even the freshmen, we kind of know who's reliable, who's got discipline, who's going to work hard, and who's got the attitude we need to fix and all that. So from that through these juniors, we've got a good beat on them now on what we have and what we need to do.
And the reality is, I mean, you really want to do more. You've had to play it fairly close to the vest the second half of the season offensively, haven't you? Haven't been able to get the ball downfield throwing the ball.
It's been pretty tough, pretty frustrating offensively. To find, because as a coach, you always feel like there's something you can do, and I'm sure, somebody in the stands has a great idea and stuff like that, but, you just got to take what you have and try to make something of it and make something where we can give our kids the best chance to win, and that's you can be frustrated all you want, but there's nobody more frustrated than the guys in the coach's office on Saturday morning and Sundays and trying to figure out a way to be successful, and nobody second guesses the coach or anything else more than we do. I mean, we analyze ourselves every time we do something to make sure we do the same thing next time. So, nobody's harder on coaches than coaches. So, yeah, I guess that's why we form such a good bond with each other.
Absolutely. Even the guys you play against, I mean,
yeah, that's
there's
right.
a bond there.
Oh,
right?
Tremendous.
They get it. They know. Right?
Yeah, John. I mean, he's went over and over and over, to make sure I understood we're going to get it turned around. We're doing a good job and blah, blah, blah. But that's because we've all been through it and we all know what it's like.
Right.
We know how it's not a very pleasant time to go through, but you can survive it and you're going to be fine, come out the other side.
He and I were talking, John King, the Longview coach, last week. I remember when Pat Collins, who turned the reins over to John, when they took over the Longview program, they suited up 29 varsity players in the last game of the season.
Yeah,
their first year.
And that's been good. These guys in this district have been good. Good to me. As far as making sure I understand they've all been through it.
Doesn't mean they don't want to beat you, but they.
No, and vice versa. But they understand. Those guys have been through it. All of them. None of them have taken over a program that was on top and just stayed on top. They've all taken their lumps and done the same thing the first few years that they were there. Just getting the chemistry and the minds right and all that's part of it. It doesn't make it any less frustrating,
right,
and you don't lose any less sleep over it. I mean, it's pretty frustrating and hard on you, whether you're going to get it done, you're going to get it fixed, but it's still pretty hard on you as far as you want to do it now.
How deep are the bonds among coaches, given what you guys all do the same thing every week?
Well, there's a lot of loyalty there, amongst our opponents, just like our own coaches. Coaches understand we all. Only profession in the world, we talked about before, they'll name a street after you one year and run your tail down at the next. So we all know what it's about and what we go through and those kind of things. And every now and then you get some hard feelings for some reason. But deep down, there's a lot of loyalty among coaches just because we've all chose this profession. We're in it for the right reason, hopefully for the kids, and we understand how frustrating it can be. So sometimes we're the only guys that cheer each other up, and give each other words of encouragement. I call guys right now that I know around the state that are struggling with their programs, right, that I know are good guys and good coaches. I'll take my time and I'll call them and go, hey, hang in there. I know you're a good football coach. You're a good football coach, and we just go through these things.
It's a unique profession. I've said this before. There's not really in life. I mean, you work all day and you think you're doing a good job, but there's no scoreboard up there necessarily. But coaching there is. I mean, Friday night they start a game and they finish, and there's a scoreboard, and next to your name, Darrell Piske, there's also a one-loss record out there.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat thing to keep you humble. I mean, you can have great years and those things, but always know that there's a bad one coming.
Right.
Even your great.
Or sometimes your best coaching jobs are years where your one-loss record might not be that good.
Exactly, holding them together and doing those kind of things, making improvement. But yeah, it's a lot of fun though. I mean, heck, you enjoy all. My wife's usually one up there in the stands hollering at the head coach, but it's a lot of fun. But just the things you go through with the kids, and really to me, when you turn around a program, to see the kids reap the benefits from that, there's no bigger joy. That's what makes it worth doing, even though it's such a pain getting it done, and you go through a lot of heartaches and stuff. It's so much fun when that group turns it around and they know they're the guys that got it done, and then they expect them young guys to carry on the tradition.
Now, Longview needed the win Friday night, and so does Rockwall Heath, the team you're playing this week. I mean, we know Mesquite's in, but I mean, talk about the playoff picture in the district.
Really, Mesquite and Horn, they're in. They just don't know where we're going. Longview's in. They just don't know their seating, and really, unless Rockwall beats Longview, Heath's in. I mean, they knew the other day they were pretty much in. Once they beat North Mesquite, and they'd already beaten Rockwall, that they were in with the 2 wins. Since we didn't, win the games we were supposed to, needed to win to stay in that picture. And so, really, they're all. It doesn't matter on Rockwall's end, Heath's in. They're going to be in. But to me, like I tell the kids, it's about pride for us. It's about going down there and playing 4 quarters, just like the other night, battling 4 quarters and making it a pride thing. Your season, a lot of them, it's the last time they're ever going to step on the football field. Really, the majority of them, that's going to be the case. And so, enjoy the moment and try to go home in a good memory. And really winning this last game would send us into that 1-9 year at Fairfield. It was our last game is the one we won against Crockett, a good football team, and we'd told the kids all year, we're going to get it done. We should keep doing, showing up every day, working hard, doing the little things, taking care of business. We're going to get it turned, and then to win that last game, and I feel like it's the same situation now. Is it'd be big for us and propel us into what's going to happen next year.
All right, tell me about Heath. What do they do? And they're new in the district too.
Yeah, they're defensively they're huge up front. Number 19 linebacker runs well, does a great job. They're going to play a zone coverage against us, and so if we'll protect up front, we'll have a chance to do some things that we did early in the year, throwing and catching. Offensively, their offensive line they got a great big sophomore, I think number 74 on the right, and a kid on the left, number 70, does a great job. They're not huge. The sophomore's huge, but the other one, they just get after you. Now the quarterback does a good job. They've got a receiver out on the edge, 14, that I don't know, he's committed to somewhere, but pretty good receiver. So. They throw it a lot, but the good news is...
but they're not a total spread team.
That's right. They're going to be in a spread look the whole time, but they're going to run it. They're going to get empty, and that quarterback's going to run it. He does a good job running it and throwing it. The little tailback, number 20, does a good job running the football. So they're going to keep us honest. They're just not as big offensively as they are defensively. Defensively up front, they're huge.
Might as well let it all hang out Friday night, right?
Nothing to hold back. There's no fakes to hide or anything like that anymore.
All right, good luck, Coach.
I appreciate it.
Now, the Red Raiders again play Heath High School, Rockwall Heath, at I think Wilkerson Sanders, I believe is the name of the stadium, on Interstate 30 on Friday night. The kickoff is at 7:30. And it is the final game of the year. Now, this has been a difficult season for a lot of folks, but the Red Raiders, especially the seniors, deserve and need your support. So we look for a good crowd for the Red Raiders on Friday night in Rockwall against Heath High School at 7:30. For Coach Piske, I'm Bill Coates. Thanks for joining us.